Did you know that you can make fresh pasta with your stale sourdough bread? You're gonna learn how to make croutons, turn it into breadcrumbs, make fresh handmade pasta, and turn it into beautiful pasta dish. Let me show you how it's done. First step, let's make croutons. First thing first, you need to make sure your stale bread's still good, not get moldy. Simply just cut it into pieces, like big chunks, something like this. On a baking tray, extra virgin olive oil, and I guess we don't need salt here. Now into the oven and bake it with the fan on. Into the oven, bake at 170 degrees Celsius for 15 to 20 minutes. Or until they are beautifully crunchy like this. First step, croutons done. Now let's make breadcrumb. Into the food processor or blender. You need to be a little patient. Because actually, we are not looking for breadcrumbs here. Continue blending until it's flour. With my food processor, that was the best I could get. But the finer the flour, the easier to handle the dough. Which brings us to making the pasta dough. I'm going to use high quality double milled semolina. To that, I'm going to add my sourdough flour. The ratio here depends on how fine your sourdough flour it is. I'm using 60% semolina and 40% of my sourdough flour. And if you never made pasta at home, give it a try. It's easier than you think. I have 300 grams flour, 2 eggs, and 3 egg yolks. Teaspoon of olive oil and season it with salt. Grab your fork and let's have fun. It is so simple. We made a volcano shape with the flour, added the eggs to the center, and gradually pull flour from the inner walls to mix it in little by little. Once you add a thick paste like this, bring more flour to the center. And time to clean up your forks and shift to your beautiful hands. But I have a better idea. You can use one of these scraper to make everything look less messy, right? Once you bring all the flour inside and kind of forming a dough, start kneading it. If the dough was dry, you can add 2 to 3 tablespoons of water or even more egg yolk. Then knead it and knead it and knead it. If you never made pasta in your life, it's going to be way different than your normal sourdough, let's say. It is quite stiff dough and there's no way you can over knead this dough. So take your time because you're going to knead this bad boy for a while. And when you poke the dough, it should bounces back right away, not like this. A bit of workout, but hopefully it's worth it, right? Let the time to do the rest of the job. Resting time. Although many people like to continue kneading it, I'm gonna let the time to take a part. It's a quite stiff dough. Next time I'm gonna add 1 extra yolk. Make sure to check the description. I let my pasta dough to rest for 30 minutes. Now it's softer and as you can see, way easier to knead it. Again, if it feels a bit dry, you can spray little water while kneading it. After 8 to 10 minutes of kneading, you're gonna have something like this. When you poke the dough, it's gonna bounce back right away. And if you shape it to a square like this, you're gonna thank me for that later. Now wrap it up, let it rest. It was more like fine breadcrumb than flour. That was another reason. So if you don't want to suffer like me kneading this stiff dough, you can increase the hydration by adding little water or extra yolk to the recipe. You can let your pasta dough to rest for 1 to 2 hours until it's softened up, beautifully like this, or into the fridge and make it the next day. Now dust up little semolina on your working surface. You need one of this rolling pin, of course. And let's roll it out. Here's the thing, when you roll the pasta, don't just go back and forth. Start from the center, roll all the way down to one side, then come back to the center and roll out the other side. You really need to take your time with this and enjoy the process. But if you have pasta maker, be my guest and use it. Here is another helpful trick. Bring the pasta sheet right to the edge of the counter. It's the same exact motion with one difference. You are using the edge to put more pressure on the dough and force it to stretch out. I mean, look at it. If this is not fun, then what it is? It smells like pasta bread. They said you should see your hand through the pasta. I'm gonna call it a day. Then trim the edges. I'm gonna make tagliatele next. Roll each side inward until they meet right in the middle. But before rolling it, make sure to dust up semolina generously. Cut the roll into slices about 0.7 centimeters. And with the back of your knife, go under the cuts, lift them up, and hope for success. I mean, of course it's tricky if it's your first time, but look at this. I'm not a professional pasta maker neither. What music is best for here? Cella mune mezzo mare lalle 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 lalle. I know, right? It's just so much fun making fresh pasta at home. Gorgeous. Let them dry a bit and time to make a coffee and proud of yourself. It's unreal. This made out of this. Now let's make a pasta dish, shall we? You just need 2 to 3 minutes to cook fresh pasta. Amazing, right? Of course, if you want to make them al dente. You don't need much. I had some leftover pesto, and I guess that's it. And parmigiano reggiano. Use another fork instead of your hand if you want to serve it for a guest. But this was for myself. And last touch. You can add a little bit of fresh basil, extra virgin olive oil. Anything makes you feel happy. Now the favorite part of my job, tasting time. I'm telling you, really hard to beat fresh pasta. Not sure this was whose idea, but definitely it was genius. Give it a try and let me know how it goes. Alright, that was it. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my next video. Keep baking and take a good care of yourselves.